agreed my views from another liberal message from such a progressive politologist and human rights activist like me, Armenak Nozheny. Actually, as a liberal commentator, progressive journalist, I actually wandering around Los Angeles and West Hollywood, watching like rows of Russian kind of delicatessen shops and stuff like that. Some of them are pretty good, and don't violate United States commerce rules and post their tags and keep products in a safe refrigeration kind of shelves, covered with lid and stuff like that. But one of the stores, New York Deli, situated at on Santa Monica Boulevard and near the intersection of Santa Monica Boulevard and Fairfax Avenue in West Hollywood, was actually severely violating United States commerce rules and was violating food safety rules as well. Unfortunately, that store was in New York Deli. Unfortunately, it's Russian female owner, they actually didn't have any price tags on the product and kept some products, so the meat loaves product, exposed to exposed without any covers on them, so any flies or airborne viruses could actually get into that food, into meat loaves, into the delicatessen and products of Russian dairy products, unprotected, but was left unprotected. When I went to the store, I had an encounter with a female Russian owner of the store, about woman in her late 50s, late middle age, who actually claimed that some of those fish salad products was actually what's it called, was under the fur coat, or she called it salad был под шубой. She told me I'd lick my fingers, but actually I'd prefer not to lick my fingers. It's a bit anti-hygienic habit, wasteful habit, and actually I would prefer that salads were not under the fur coat. So there was slang of Russian slang that says it means that indicates that that salad could be actually spiked or poisoned by some unknown ingredients, But actually, I would very much would demand that Santa Monica Food with public safety, with police public safety program, very official, they check out that New York deli shop, the Russian deli shop, and check if the ingredients contain narcotics or other poisonous and illegal substances they might have used to boost their sales, It might have poisoned customers, nevertheless. As that store owner was likely to be a Russian spy trying to actually poison their customers. What you call sales were never supposed to be under any fur coats, It's supposed to be fresh and contain fine ingredients. Well, actually, I very much come to think of the city of Los Angeles. Over there too, but homeless people, they steal those shopping carts at substance abusers and bring those shopping carts onto the Spring Street, at the intersection of downtown location of Spring Street, at the intersection of Spring Street and Cesar Chavez Avenue. And when I pass there and I see those number of stolen shopping carts from those parking lots of those superstores, being dumped there, covered with some dirty clothes, and contain some kind of maybe contaminated biohazardous materials and stuff like that. You never know what might contain, because it's been left over there, and police does nothing, ignores this whole situation, which poses a serious threat to public health, those stolen shopping carts covered with some blankets, clothes, and other dirty stuff. Actually, And I demand that Los Angeles police actually remove that, or Homeland Security police, which is sometimes substitute Los Angeles police, remove those stolen shopping carts and return them to those supermarkets. Would claim them to be their own. It's written on the name, brand name of the supermarket. It's written on those on the handle, dual handle of those shopping carts. And today I want to say that I've been at a meeting, last meeting, actually Tuesday meeting of at Los Angeles City Council. And one of the City Council member, Paul Corres, even mentioned that he was a Nazi from Kaiser Permanente. I don't know, maybe he somehow suffers with mental problems and stuff like that, but because he being overweight, severely overweight, to look like a hamster, you know. So I think that still a recent statement of Los Angeles City Council members to give a tax break holiday to new businesses for expenditure for the next 3 years. It's a very reaction decision because it diminishes revenues of the city of Los Angeles and makes us leave the businesses with low profits because the lower the taxes, the lower our profits, the lower our revenues of those businesses. And I believe that the Los Angeles City Council members decided to engage in a right-wing agenda, extremist agenda, to give a tax break to those businesses when they shouldn't have them to tax break to businesses, especially mutual funds, that actually contain only tax shelters for wealthy tax evaders. And I believe that the Internal Revenue Service should actually take care of, investigate those mutual funds that actually steal money from working poor. And I also believe that, unfortunately, those city council members, they unfortunately don't want to resign that unlawful city ordinance 181-530 that actually illegally legalized sales of harmful narcotic marijuana. And they actually refuse to ignore me every time or when I actually propose to actually cut their own wages in half because they earn egregious $178,000 in wages. And they were actually outraged because these council members essentially reproof homeowners and try to lead the lives of aristocrats where most of the city workers receive lowly wages less than $2,000 a month. And I believe that also that social justice should prevail and those gasoline cell and oil manufacturing corporations such as Shell, Texaco, British Petroleum, Arco, and the rest of them, should pay higher taxes. We should pay about 50% more in taxes for each barrel of oil produced. And I believe that even Proposition O that required to raise taxes about up to $2 per each barrel of oil produced in Los Angeles County. Still, Los Angeles City Council should adopt a resolution to raise taxes at least $3 on each barrel of oil being produced in Los Angeles County to increase city revenue, to bring affordable housing to working poor people, and to establish social justice. Otherwise, money will just flow away to foreign countries where they be paid to Arab sheikhs and other scoundrels who rip off working poor and stuff like that. Again, I want to share my my political ambition with my viewers. Actually, I promised to unseat the actually incumbent and to create lots of government-supported jobs by raising state taxes 50% against rich individuals and wealth corporations, and legislate state orders to build and launch California satellites. In order to create satellite phone service and actually, and surveillance, photo surveillance, photo camera surveillance over remote and rural forested area of California, also in territorial waters of 12 miles of California shores. Actually, also announced that I promised that I'm going to run for the seat of California State Assembly at a Texas Pen Liberal. And actually, I will make same-sex marriage law of the land to uphold civil and human rights of homosexuals and lesbians. And I promise also to give housing context to create more affordable housing for working class people with low wages. I promise to raise speed limits also, 12 miles up to 85 miles an hour for light vehicles on California freeways and highways. I promise to establish a paid leave for 6 months for all Californian pregnant women to make same-sex marriage law of the land and to uphold human rights and civil rights of sexual minorities. Actually, when I see those pregnant women, working and moaning in anger and pain, with those light berries, and working as a cashier, for instance, in Los Angeles supermarkets. Actually, my bleeding heart of a liberal actually for the, suffers, and actually, I bleed, my heart bleeds to them, and I believe that actually all such pregnant women should be granted 6 months of paid leave, at the expense of California state government. I promise to build new sanitarium for substance abuse as Proposition 36 Substance Abuse Treatment Act allows mandatory treatment of substance abuse on court orders. Proposition 19 on legalization on harmful narcotic marijuana was rejected by 56% of California voters, according to MSNBC report at least. As I heard it on MSNBC a few months ago, as Kifa, was liberal talk show host, Kifa Alderman announced it. Also asked very much Los Angeles City Councilmember participants to shut down those so-called medical marijuana dispensaries with report California by charging gross fee of $200 an hour, per ounce for harmful narcotic of marijuana. Also demand the City Council made a motion to cancel illegal city ordinance 181-530 with unlawfully legalized narcotic state of harmful substance marijuana. In spite of failure of Proposition 19 to legalize harmful narcotic marijuana, I promise to petition federal authorities to indict and prosecute any member of the Los Angeles City government for violating U.S. Controlled Substance Act 1974, which prohibits sales of harmful narcotics. Also fight against wasteful spending and corruption. And demand that city council members cut down their egregious wages of $178,000 in half and increase wages of city workers 50% in order to conduct politics of social justice. And as I can see, so Los Angeles City Council members actually ignored mostly my demand and will actually end up the same way in the federal penitentiary, convicted and serving serious federal sentences, in federal penitentiary for on charges of corruption and illegal conspiring to legalize harmful narcotic marijuana. And I hope that federal authorities send those Los Angeles City Council members that over the city government members who actually voted for authorization of illegal and harmful narcotic marijuana to prison, to federal prison, and hopefully that actually Democrats will come to power in California, and will be able to beat reactionary Republicans, such as Mr. Krikorian and Mr. Garcetti, who actually sold out to right-wing extremist ideas, and actually voted for cutting taxes and giving tech holiday towards new business will come to Los Angeles. Will actually reduce the city revenues. We don't think about working class people, and instead we seem to mollify the interest of the right-wing workers, Well, actually, hopefully we will lose the next elections with city council members, and the Democrats will come to power in the city of Los Angeles.